Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Book Fest Spring 2023. I'm CJ Lopez, and today we are talking to Parchelle Tashi. Tashi, sorry about that, founder of the Authors Leverage, who also is an award-winning video producer, and she started her career as a high school math teacher before she ventured into video production. I have the distinct pleasure of speaking with Parchelle about how to turn your fantastic books into courses. Parchelle, I think everyone is going to sit here and turn their volume up for this because this is an amazing topic. So, how did you start along this course of, you know what, these books could teach people something?
It's really been a fun journey, and I think like most things, it's just you pay attention and it things just kind of happen and it excites you. So that's exactly what happened. I think it really started with my own experience with a book that really transformed my life. I studied it and practiced what I learned in it in a year, and saw the results of it, but then got to a point where I was like, I need some more help. Like I need a little bit more guidance, accountability, and just more insights. They're going to go deeper into more specific ways that I can apply this beyond the book. And so from that, I went into it was a workshop, and then there was a coaching program thereafter. And so it just was this journey that I was brought along just through being, a reader of this book. And the book is called Millionaire Master Plan. It is a little bit of a cheesy name, but it's all about
Yeah.
developing and identifying your personal path to wealth. And so that experience really changed me. And in that process of learning and understanding my gifts, someone reached out who's an author, had a book that was publishing, and said, I want to create a course, and I know that you do video, so can you help me? And
Yeah.
we jumped into that project, and it really lit me up personally, and
Mm.
also really created a lot of transformation for those that were watching. And I thought, finally there's something that we can produce that is not just about selling another thing or marketing
Yeah.
something, or it was really about transformation through education. And so that's really how I got started. Like you said, I've been in video production, then came across a book that really transformed me, and I got to experience that in different ways, and then got to
Yeah.
produce something like that for another author. So yeah, it's so amazing how things come full circle and happen, right?
Yeah, I love that you said transformation through education because I think that you did that. You transformed your life. You started in education, then you transformed into this building curriculum for people who need to transform their own lives now. So do you feel that your background in education gives you this special ability to help people understand how to further what they already started with their books?
100%. I mean, I actually have my degree on the wall, which I'm not the type of person who likes to put degrees on their walls, but I put that one up because, of course, as you mentioned, I was a high school teacher. So when I quit teaching, I thought, man, like what a waste of time, like, to go through and get this curriculum degree. But I put it up proudly because, I think for most of us, we discount, at least I did, I discounted my past experiences. And that was a big part, that is just part of who I am, and how I show up. And so I really do feel like it gives me, as the leader of my team, the ability to really see, education in a different way, and to make it
Mhm.
fun, to make it exciting. I mean, I taught math to high school, so you had to find ways to make it interesting. And so I learned just a
Yes.
lot, just in that practical sense of being in front of a big group of teenagers every day,
Yeah. That's
and really wanted to make that experience fun. And so I get to translate that as well, for adults and for others that are learning and wanting to expound upon, what they might have read in a book.
yeah, it's a big feat to as an educator, so thank you for being an educator, of those high school students and now of the world because you are bringing not only to high school students, but to adults, and it could be to people of a younger age. So
Mhm.
how does one know that they have a book that could be turned into a course? Are there core things that you're looking for?
There are. So one of the main things that we look for are the niche or the specific genre that you've written. And so the types of books that translate really, really well into online courses are written in the topics of health, wealth, relationships, and leadership. And the reasons why these transform, or translate really well as online courses is because of the nature of the fact that it is hard to implement those things on your own a lot of times. And we have information at our fingertips on Google, on, pretty much anywhere on the internet you can find the information that you're looking for. But how do
Mhm.
we actually get into action with those things, right? And typically those areas are where it is a little bit more difficult. You need a little bit more guidance. You need just one person that you trust, right, the author, to guide you through really the steps and the experiences that are going to allow that learning from the book to go much deeper. And most times too, some people, they will be interested in your book, but they'll be definitely be interested in your course because they know that they're going to get the result, maybe in a quicker fashion or in a fashion that's just more, aligned with their goals.
Can you maybe walk us through a short version of how you start turning that book into a course? Do I say, okay, Parchelle, I've got this grand book that I wrote about XYZ, and I know that it could help people further than just reading it, and I really want to help people. What was the next step?
The next step is really to, and this is something that we do with our authors, is really start with it's an application process. But from
Mm,
there, is where we identify the genre of your book, what your specific goals are as an author, who this is written for, and getting clarity on that. And the very first phase that we go through with our authors is actually putting the course on paper, right? And this is where the curriculum and the planning really are super important to the entire process. And so this is what we call phase one of that process. And this is our course strategy and design. And so in this phase is where it's best to actually identify um, not only who the course is for, but how this course fits in your business ecosystem, right? What problems is this solving for your business when it comes to maybe revenue, maybe community building, perhaps aspects that you're trying to free up your time, because
mm.
a number of our authors are also coaches, and so a lot of their time is spent in one-to-one fulfillment, right, with their clients. And many of them are trying to open up their calendar, to get rid of
Yeah.
more free time. So to have a course that's a stepping stone in between your book and, let's say, your personal time is a really great option to have. And so yeah, I mean, those things are super important to really lay out in this process. We also identify how much do we want to charge for this course. What's the name of
Mm,
it going to be? What type of course is this? What is the actual outline? What are the learning objectives? How do we ensure that the activities that we're asking of the readers are going to be aligned with the book, right? How do we condense an entire book into a course, right? All those
yeah.
things have to be laid out in such detail, because from there, the rest of the process really becomes more smooth, and you have more clarity and confidence in what you're doing as the author going down this path.
And do you find people want more online courses versus in person?
That's a good question. It really depends. It really depends. I see it as it's really levels to it, right? An
Okay.
online course, of course, somebody can do in the convenience of their, of their home or wherever they're at, and you can still get involved in community online, which is great. I think that over the last few years, right, we've just really seen the value of human connection and being in person to really be a big driver for us today, and a big motivator for getting into action and taking advantage of you know these transformations that are available. And so the in-person, I would say, is becoming a lot more popular as well, which I love. And sometimes it's a stepping stone that really can coincide with the course or the book. And in some cases, we actually are doing this with one of our clients, is actually creating a live teaching event with them, and then we'll be able
Oh,
to record
nice.
that and utilize that as sort of that stepping stone that's available to their readers as well. So there's a lot that you can do within that framework, but it's very interesting, and it depends, right? I think online courses are still going
Yeah.
to be around, but in person, it also always just has that added benefit of human connection and being together in person.
Great. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, depending on what you're teaching, right?
Yes.
I took, when I went to college, I did online. I did my entire bachelor's degree online because that's how I learn best. Um, but I will tell you, doing a biology experiment on my own inside of my kitchen was not as effective for me to understand as it would have been in a biology.
Yeah.
So you're absolutely right. What are some of the ways that people can capitalize on an online course?
Yeah, as an author.
Yes.
Yes. This is really incredible. What I like to do is actually do some math and really compare, right? You can really capitalize on this because one of the things that I teach is that, you know, books alone are not going to make any money, right? It's
Mm,
going to be the experiences that do that, and you can create those online or in person, as we've discussed. And so, one of the biggest questions that authors have is like, how can I get more from my book, right? I've poured myself into this book, it's out there.
mhm,
What can I do with it? And so oftentimes we go through a simple exercise, right? If you take the number of books that you maybe intend to sell or that you sell in a year, times that by the price of your book, there's going to be, of course, your top line revenue there. Remember, Amazon gets their cut or whoever you're splitting that with. But
mhm.
then in comparison, if you just took even between 5 to 10% of those readers who actually wanted to take you up on this offer to be a part of your online course, then in most cases, when you do that math and compare, you're actually adding a zero to the revenue potential of your book. And so you can really capitalize on that really in so many ways. You use your book to build your platform. You can use it to take the stage, create a product, create an experience, right? These are all the different ways that you can do that. And specifically with an online course, that's essentially best for the author that wants to leverage their time and what they're able to do and
Yeah.
deliver and provide for others.
I think you have a lot of authors out there going, "Okay, where do I sign up? Because I've got these books and I know that I need to reach more people with more experience, opportunities. So where do they go to get that application to start getting their books created into courses?"
Yeah, thank you. I recommend go to our website, theauthorsleverage.com. And also, if you're looking for some ideas, we've got an ebook called 5 Ways to Get More Bang for Your Book. And so we actually go through 5 specific strategies that you can use to leverage your book outside of course creation, because there's so many ways that you can do that. But essentially, in this ebook, you'll have some exercises, some of the things that I've shared here today that are going to help you walk through some of the ideation, some of the things you can start to think out now and start to take action towards what you can do to monetize your book.
And your website, what is the website address?
Theauthorsleverage.com.
Awesome. You can also go and check out Parchelle's speaker page over at the Bookfest website, thebookfest.com, and see all the wonderful things that Parchelle gets into because I'm sitting here going through my catalog of books in my head as we're talking and making sure I don't lose my place and going, okay, this is very interesting. I have the best job in the world. And I absolutely loved having this conversation with you today, Parchelle, because this is great for so many authors, whether they're nonfiction or even fiction authors, because
Yes.
leveraging your book as a whole is very important. So thank you so much for being here, for bringing this to the Book Fest Spring 2023. It is such an amazing event, and we bring wonderful people here. And thank you again for watching, to all of the audience, and Parchelle for participating. The Book Fest is presented by Books That Make You and Black Chateau Enterprises. Please enjoy the rest of the programming during this free online bookish adventure.